The Great Sphinx of Giza is a limestone statue of a reclining sphinx, a mythical creature with the head of a human and the body of a lion, facing directly from west to east. It stands on the Giza Plateau on the west bank of the Nile, in Giza, Egypt. The face of the Sphinx appears to represent the pharaoh Khafre. The original shape of the Sphinx was cut from the bedrock and has since been restored with layers of limestone blocks. It measures 73 meters long from pea to tail, 20 meters high from the base to the top of the head, and 19 meters wide at its rear haunches. Its nose was broken off for unknown reasons between the 3rd and 10th centuries AD. The Sphinx is the oldest known monumental sculpture in Egypt and one of the most recognizable statues in the world. The archaeological evidence suggests that it was created by ancient Egyptians of the Old Kingdom during the reign of Khafre. The archaeological evidence suggests that the Great Sphinx was created around 2500 BC for the pharaoh Khafre, the builder of the second pyramid at Giza. The Sphinx is a monolith carved from the bedrock of the plateau, which also served as the quarry for the pyramids and other monuments in the area. Egyptian geologist Farouk El-Baz has suggested that the head of the Sphinx may have been carved first out of a natural yardang, which means a ridge of bedrock that had been sculpted by the wind. These can sometimes achieve shapes which resemble animals. El-Baz suggests that the moat or ditch around the Sphinx may have been quarried out later to allow for the creation of the full body of the sculpture. The stones cut from around the Sphinx body were used to construct a temple in front of it. However, neither the enclosure nor the temple were ever completed, and the relative scarcity of Old Kingdom cultural material suggests that a Sphinx cult was not established at the time. In order to construct the temple, the northern perimeter wall of the Khafre Valley Temple had to be deconstructed. Hence it follows that the Khafre funerary complex preceded the creation of the Sphinx and its temple. Furthermore, the angle and location of the south wall of the enclosure suggests the causeway connecting Khafre's pyramid and Valley Temple already existed before the Sphinx was planned. The lower base level of the Sphinx Temple also indicates that it doesn't predate the Valley Temple. Sometime around the First Intermediate Period, the Giza necropolis was abandoned, and drifting sand eventually buried the Sphinx up to its shoulders. The first documented attempt at an excavation dates to 1400 BC, when the young Thutmose gathered a team, and after much effort, managed to dig out the front paws, between which he erected a shrine that housed the dream stool, an inscribed granite slab, possibly a repurposed door lintel from one of Khafre's temples. When the stool was discovered, its lines of text were already damaged and incomplete. In Greco-Roman times, Giza had become a tourist destination. The monuments were regarded as antiquities, and some Roman emperors visited the Sphinx out of curiosity and for political reasons. The Sphinx was cleared of sand again in the 1st century AD, in honor of Emperor Nero and the governor of Egypt Tiberius Cludius Balbillus. A monumental stairway more than 12 meters wide was erected, leading to a pavement in front of the paws of the Sphinx. At the top of the stairs, a podium was positioned that allowed view into the Sphinx sanctuary. Further back, another podium neighbored several more steps. The stairway was dismantled during the 1931-32 excavations by Émile Barrès. Pyramids. The Great Sphinx and the temple in front of it, called the Sphinx Temple, lie directly next to Khafre's Valley Temple and the lower portion of the causeway leading up to his mortuary temple and pyramid. Careful archaeological analysis has revealed that the Valley Temple was finished before work was begun on the Great Sphinx and its temple. Analysis of the Great Sphinx's facial features has also revealed striking similarities with those of Khafre's statues. The Great Sphinx has captured the imagination of travelers and explorers for millennia, even in ancient Egyptian times. During the 18th dynasty, it came to be seen as a manifestation of the sun god, and was called Hormekit, Horus in the horizon. King Amenhotep II built a temple next to the Sphinx, which he dedicated to this god. His son Thutmose IV erected a monumental stool between its front paws, called the Dream Stool, on which he recorded a fascinating event. In 1931, engineers of the Egyptian government repaired the head of the Sphinx. Part of its headdress had fallen off in 1926 due to erosion, which had also cut deeply into its neck. This questionable repair was by the addition of a concrete collar between the headdress and the neck, creating an altered profile. Many renovations to the stone base and raw rock body were done in the 1980s, and then redone in the 1990s. colossal statues are one of the hallmarks of ancient Egyptian civilization, and the Great Sphinx of Giza is the most famous. It was carved directly out of the bedrock during the 4th dynasty, which also makes it the oldest. Ancient Egyptian sphinxes represented the king with the body of a lion, in a clear demonstration of his power. The evidence points to the Great Sphinx having been carved during the reign of Khafre, also known as Khephren to the ancient Greeks between 2558 to 2532 BC. The builder of the second of the Giza pyramid